I mean, I guess it's just kind of how you start it when there's no other production team here.
Yeah, our production team is on holiday.
Yeah, skiing and doing other stuff.
So we should just do this the old-fashioned way.
I think so.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
I gave it a second in case we want to cut, edit it there. But anyways, this is episode number 2 of That's Healthy, right?
Are we gonna call out the episode every single time?
I think we should.
Okay.
So that way you and I can keep track of where we are.
Okay, episode 2.
And this is where we make sense of the news so you don't have to. You almost didn't make it today.
I haven't been here all week.
You've been down for the count.
I've been fighting death.
And was that because you ate too much chocolate and went full, like, over the handlebars on your advice last week, or what's the deal?
And I didn't want people to see me.
Correct.
Now I've been battling a fever for 7 days. And you showed up at my door today and was like, we have a show to film. Shower. When was the last time you showered?
Throws on the hat, new hat, by the way. I like that.
Born Fitness, by the way.
Yeah, very nice.
Hanukkah present / company branding.
Yes, I like that. It's very nice. Yeah, well, I actually went full steam ahead on the chocolates, C's candies. My girlfriend got a box of C's candy for her family, a 2-pound box.
How many pounds did you eat?
I had about 1.5 pounds. I like the ones I didn't like, the fruity C's, I left in the box. And her grandmother at one point walked over and was like, "What happened to all the candy?" Super pissed. And I was like, went outside, like, no idea. So
are you in like recovering mode now, or aftermath really wasn't that bad, was it?
It really wasn't. And really, I would have thought it was. And I'll be honest too, the next day I went to the gym, and I don't know if I've ever had as good as a pump or the amount of energy that I did. I'm not going to condone the amount of food I ate, and you guys probably wouldn't believe me if I told you, especially because I was like hiding the whole time I did it. Because I ultimately left a lot of people unsatisfied by the amount of food they didn't get at Christmas.
But the bigger point is you were able to eat and not be worried about it.
Correct.
And it didn't have any negative impact on you,
No.
and maybe in some ways had a positive impact on your training because you got right back on schedule.
And it did, and I've actually felt, more powerful, more energy, or sluggish that day, but in the end, it wasn't the end of the world, it was fine.
I'm guessing the stuff that you've been seeing recently in the news, though, is not recommending the same kind of balanced approach of not taking extreme measures.
Well, yeah, and that was all kind of the news leading up to the holidays. A lot of what I found this week, and a lot of what people wrote in about, was primarily in regards to now losing that weight.
Okay.
And this concept of you've gained a ton of weight, now what's the quickest, most efficient way to lose it?
But in most cases, people really didn't gain much weight. We talked about
Correct.
last week, on average, people gain 1 pound. Which is usually probably just like water weight.
Right.
Too much salt or like a few extra like pieces of pie that just haven't passed yet.
Right. And I think, like always, the media is going to play into this concept that now you feel this guilt, and the article that's going to have the most clicks is going to be the one that's going to solve that guilt, even though it may or may not actually be there. So that kind of will lead me right into the first one, coming out of dailymail.com.
Another UK publication. That's 2 weeks in a row for the UK.
They're coming in hot on a lot of
I don't know if you want to be
BS.
on this show. You don't want to be called out for being on this show, but anyway, I love the UK. Love London. One of my favorite cities in the world.
I've actually never been there.
You should go.
And based on a lot of the BS I'm reading, I don't know if I really want to.
Oh wow.
I know. I'm just saying. But okay, so the article, how to drop those extra Christmas pounds by New Year's.
Okay, so they're giving you like the rapid weight loss here.
Rapid weight loss. Okay, the quick fix. Literally, actually, so the quick fix diet that will have you looking party ready in just 1 week. I'm not going to name names here, but a nutritionist expert kind of goes by the name of Wiona Irk, if you want to sub in some letters there. If you follow her plan, you can lose up to 7 pounds in 10 days, which is rather intense. But my question, she lists out her steps, and without diving too far into it, the one thing that really stuck out to me was she explains that you should only eat starches at lunch. Okay, and starches being breads, pasta, rice, so on and so forth. And her idea is that your body, if you consume the starches at lunch, can then utilize those carbs throughout the day and not store them as fat if you eat them, say, at nighttime while you're sleeping.
Okay, very typical.
Any truth to that?
No. I mean, it's fine if you want to go ahead and eat your starches at lunch and only have it then, but the reason you would do it is because that's when you prefer to eat starches. That's when you enjoy eating breads, pastas, so on and so forth. This idea that the timing of your meals significantly affects either your ability to lose fat or more appropriately gain fat just isn't accurate. And you've seen this for a lot of time where people are afraid to eat through whatever arbitrary time after 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night because the rationalization is that carbs are energy. So if you eat carbs at night, because you're not active, those carbohydrates are going to turn into fat.
Right.
And that's just not the way the human body works. So the same idea that it used to be you could only eat your carbs at breakfast. Now this nutritionist is saying, forget breakfast, let's do it at lunch because it's different. Why not? Have your carbs at breakfast, have them at lunch, have them at dinner. There's research where we've seen where there was an Israeli study that showed that people who ate the majority of their calories and carbohydrates at night actually lost more weight than people who lost it or who ate them earlier in the day. Now, does that mean you have to eat your carbohydrates at night? No, because we have so much other research that just suggests that the overall amount of food you take in and the breakdown, so the proteins, carbohydrates, fats of your diet will influence weight loss or weight gain more than anything. So the timing of foods, we often try to come up with some magical reason. And in this case, saying, hey, only eat them during the middle of the day, at lunch, it'll burn your energy. It's not true. The best diet approach for you is to plan out what you eat in a way that works for you. Me personally, I like eating my carbs after my workout and at night.
Right.
Especially because for me, for social reasons, I like to go out for dinner or I order in, so I'm much more likely to have less control over what I eat, so I'd like to have more freedom. So I'll put more barriers on what I have on breakfast or lunch because I'm in control of those meals, where at night I want the freedom to choose what I want to eat. So it's important to know that you don't have to only eat your carbohydrates at lunch. It makes no sense. It sounds great on paper, but it's ridiculous and it can lead to very broken habits of eating. So if you prefer them at lunch, if that's your trouble meal and giving you that freedom is better, great. But if not, have your carbs when you want them. The key is knowing how many carbs you have,
right.
How many carbs you should be eating during the course of the day. That's much more valuable than trying to put a timestamp on it.
So it's more preference as it is to science.
Right. Because when do you like to eat your carbs?
It's the same. I think I always started kind of from the bro science mentality. It was always a huge breakfast, but then after years of doing that and even incorporating them more at lunch, I generally get very, very tired when I consume a tremendous amount of carbohydrates and large meals. So I actually prefer, just from trial and error, more of a lighter breakfast, lighter lunch, bigger dinner, which exactly what you said, gives me that freedom to go have ice cream. That from a overall standpoint of calories in, calories out kind of mentality, I have a lot of freedom at nighttime, but then it's also nice because then I get to go to bed.
Right.
And it's not a matter of I'm eating them at 6 and stopping then. It's I'll eat it whenever, and then when I go to lay down, like I don't have to worry about it. I'm not going back to work. I'm not going to be sluggish the rest of the day. That's just how I operate. A lot of people like to have them whenever, but that is just based on my experience, my preference there.
Right, and the big thing there for you too was for a while you avoided carbs.
Correct.
And when you added carbs back in your diet, you got leaner than you ever were.
Yes.
So I mean that was another beautiful thing that fear of carbs still exists. And yes, if you eat too many carbs, you can gain weight, and the more active you are, the more carbs you can have. But the idea of removing carbs completely just it's kind of this broken mentality that we do a lot of trying to fix.
Right.
All right, what else we got? What other crazy holiday recommendations?
So now that we've just lost 10 pounds by New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
okay, and
Feeling good.
we're on a roll. Now I'm going to start going to the gym.
Always a good thing.
Let's start saying it's New Year's Day, set my resolution, and I want to go in and start working out, okay? This article that I found basically was saying weight loss tips, doing this exercise burns more fat than going for a run.
This exercise, as in one.
That's what the title says.
Okay.
And then it dives into basically 5. It says that the barbell rollout, deadlifts, push-ups, bent over rows, and sit-ups are superior for when it comes to fat loss and weight loss. My question is though, is there really any lift at all that's superior for weight loss, as opposed to maybe doing cardio and or just an exercise itself?
Okay, so cardio is good for fat loss, weights are good for fat loss. Weights in general are going to be much more efficient for fat loss. So if you're looking for the quickest way to lose fat, not necessarily lose weight, doing strength training is going to be the benefit. And then that's what people see. And it's not to say that cardio is bad, especially like if you like cardio, go ahead and run or bike or do whatever you want. It's just that weight training is a more effective way to increase fat loss and change body composition. And body composition means the ratio of muscle to fat. So whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, you're going to benefit from it. Are certain exercises better than others? Technically, yes. So the exercises that are going to involve more muscles and larger muscles are going to burn more fat in general, just because your body is working harder. It's why things like squats and deadlifts or lunges can be very effective. But almost every exercise can technically be a fat-burning exercise if it's created within a fat-burning style of workout. But putting an exercise like a sit-up, where you are laying on your back and you don't have there's not much of a load or work capacity involved with that. You're not increasing the metabolic load that you are putting on your body. It's just not going to be superior for fat loss. So I think the idea is we're becoming obsessed with like finding the one exercise.
Quick fix.
Yeah, where instead it's a general approach. You want more of the exercises that are going to involve multiple muscles when you do them. You want to make sure that you work with someone who will help you design a program geared towards fat loss, because you could have a workout that's geared towards fat loss, one towards strength, one for building endurance, building muscle. So the workout design is very important, the exercises, but like thinking that you have to do just one exercise is just broken. It's the same idea of people saying like never do these 5 exercises. There are very few exercises I can actually think of that are legitimate exercises that I would say never do. There's a time, place, a purpose, or a reason. Maybe you have injuries, maybe you have equipment limitations. Like the body is broken down into body parts and movements. If you are moving, it is good for you, but to obsess and think that you have to create a workout around barbell rollouts and sit-ups as a way to burn fat is a very quick way to become frustrated, because you're always going to focus your workouts around those movements rather than building a good program, and then you're going to wonder why you don't see benefits. So you just want to get away from that absolute mentality of I need this exercise. Like squats are a great exercise. I love deadlifts, but some people shouldn't be doing deadlifts, or some people don't love deadlifts, so they just won't even do it, even if it's great for them. Does that mean they can't lose fat? No, you can still lose fat. You can still build a basic program, even if you are passing up on good exercises.
And we get asked all the time, why would people sign up for coaching, or why do people use trainers or whatnot? And I think it's kind of twofold. It's very much like Eric Helm's hierarchy of success when it comes to consistency, and the fact that for a lot of people, if you love to do cardio and you go and do cardio all the time because that's what you love to do, you're going to see results, primarily because you're being consistent. At the same time, there are a lot of things like deadlifts and that do incorporate, they are fat burning and all of those, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to do it because you hate the workout itself, then it's not superior to anything.
There's a very fine line between like making sure that you have a workout that you enjoy so you'll do it, because consistency is key, and then just not avoiding all the things you hate, not because you hate them, because you're actually just bad at them.
Right.
No one likes that learning curve of like, I suck at this. Now, yes, like are there certain things you're going to enjoy more than others? And you have to take that into consideration. Smart programming is understanding your client. It's not about you, it's about the client.
Right.
So it's building a workout that they can enjoy, but at the same time including in enough stuff that they struggle with, because that's where you're going to see improvements, work out where you're bad.
Right. Okay, so let's say we focused too much on things I don't like. And now I don't want to go to the gym.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm no longer going. I have consumed.
You've already quit the gym.
I've consumed my 20,000 calories of C's candy and cookies.
Okay.
And I want to find the one fix that's not going to require me to go to the gym.
Okay.
And I believe it's going to be in a drink. I believe that if I can sit on the couch and just drink this one drink, I'm going to burn the fat and melt away those calories.
I already see where the drink is. Where do we pull this one from? I'm even afraid to ask. Do we even know?
I'm not going to name names here. The whole idea, though, the title was Eaten Too Much. This drink will help burn off your Christmas calories. Is green tea really the answer? And is there any drink that will actually do it? Basically, it breaks it down saying, number one, green tea, it speeds up your metabolism. And number two, helps boost fat burning while exercising.
I'm just going to cut you off before you start playing lies into people's heads. So, is green tea good for you? From a health standpoint, yes. Does it have benefits? Definitely. Lots of antioxidants. Something called EGCGs in there that have a lot of health benefits. But just out of curiosity, did they specify how many cups of green tea that you should have for these fat burning measures?
It's funny you said that. It actually listed at the end, it recommends 2 to 3 cups because any more than that or drinking too much green tea can make you feel, and here we go, dizzy and irritable. It can also cause heart palpitations, nausea, vomiting, headaches, loss of appetite due to the caffeine content.
That's a great combo. So here's your double-edged sword right here. So research shows you that the benefits of the EGCGs in green tea that will help with fat loss are kind of maximized around 400 to 500 milligrams.
Okay.
Now, a cup of tea, I believe, is about 70 milligrams of EGCGs. So you would need about 5-6 cups to see the fat loss benefits. Now, that's not necessarily inaccurate because green tea does have caffeine, and higher doses of caffeine can give people headaches, can leave them feeling irritable, can have some negative side effects. So this is what you see. I mean, when it comes to any weight loss drink, they're almost all BS. I mean, out of all the supplements that are out there, the most popular ones are the fat loss supplements, but they're also the least effective. Can you get a mild or very small improvement from green tea? Yes, possibly. I'd say caffeine and yohimbine are 2 supplements that, from a research standpoint, show more benefits in terms of how they work on fat cells to get them to release fatty acids that you will burn as energy and that will help with fat loss. So are there supplements that will make your body work a little bit better? Yes. But what is the actual impact? It's very small. Right. It's very, very, very small. I would say that the people who will benefit from these are those who have already lost a lot of weight and are trying to go from like lean to super lean, rather than if you've got 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds and you're popping a supplement thinking that that's what's going to cause fat loss. It's not. The only thing you're going to lose is your money.
Right.
And your frustration, because it's just like, well, you have more energy? Yeah, because it's the caffeine. Might you eat less? Yes, because it's the caffeine. But is it actually working on a cellular level where it's causing you to burn a lot of fat? No. Is it doing things to assist with that? Yes, but it's like, if a supplement helps you burn an extra 10 to 50 calories a day, is it having an extra benefit? It is, but like, is 10 to 50 calories a day going to have a big impact? No, you could eat a little bit less. You could exercise a little bit more. There are a whole bunch of behaviors that we can do, because like, again, the move more, eat less, I think, is completely blown out of proportion. It doesn't factor in habits, lifestyle, consistency, what we were just talking about. But it's more this mentality of, if I drink this, if I take this pill, I will lose weight. If someone had found that magical fat loss supplement by now, everyone would be taking it. I don't want to say they would be a millionaire or billionaire, because there are lots of millionaires and billionaires there just playing off of people's desire to lose weight, and I hate it. I don't think supplements are bad. There are a couple that are good, but the fat loss supplement industry in general, it's just, it breaks my heart, because a lot of people spend a lot of their hard-earned money on stuff that, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. If something changes, trust me, I'll be the first one to tell people, because I know how difficult and frustrating fat loss is. The idea that you can sit on your couch and drink green tea and just the pounds will melt off isn't accurate. And I mean, there's really not much more to discuss than that. Like, if you can't be active, there are ways to lose weight, and that is a problem for some people, but Invest in your hope in a magical drink. It just doesn't exist.
Right. You know what time it is?
I'm hoping it's lunchtime.
Almost. Almost about that time. It is viewer question time.
I love questions.
Okay. So this one came in from Josh Melman. Hope I got your name right.
Appreciate the question, Josh. I believe Josh is also a constant commenter on Twitter, so it's a familiar name.
He doesn't follow me, so I don't know. Had to do my weekly plug.
Right. That's really just so, people following.
And not on Twitter. I actually don't really use Twitter, so don't go that route. Okay, so Josh wants you to talk about the idea that food is neither good nor bad.
Okay. So this is something, a great topic. Thank you for the question, Josh. It's something that people struggle with a lot. And it's a fine line. In general, we talk about this a lot. I don't believe in good foods versus bad foods because I think it leads to a lot of disordered eating.
Correct.
This idea that you think, it's what goes back to what we were talking about before, I can't have X, Y, Z. I can't have carbs. I can't have ice cream. I can't have pie. I can't ever have any dessert. I can't eat red meat. Like this idea that certain foods are on or off limits leads to almost this obsessive style of eating where you avoid things, you withdraw from them, you end up missing them, and then you end up eating everything because you're on a plan that just doesn't feel like yours, doesn't feel sustainable. So it's a process depending on the individual where it's more important to find out what foods people love, find a way to keep them in the diet, but keep them in the diet in a way that it doesn't spiral out of control. Now, do some people have to put certain limits on what they eat because they know if they're around a food that they're just not at the point where they can control themselves? Yes. Every person is different, and I think it's very important to build any type of nutrition plan around knowing where you're strong, where you're weak. This is where cheat days come in.
Right.
But there's nothing magical about a cheat day, but some people know that they can't have a small dessert every day. Like I'm the type of person who have a small dessert every day, and I won't end up eating all of the desserts. I'll just eat a small amount. I can have some chocolate, a small bowl of ice cream, and I'm good to go. Some people, you put them in that situation, and this isn't their fault per se. It's just like it's how they're encoded. They'll eat all of it. So you do a cheat day instead where they're eating healthy all the time, and then one day they get to have that freedom so they can overeat without having any negative impacts. It's not that there's some magic of cheat day. It's more just about like from a mental standpoint, they feel like they're not withdrawing from food completely. And I think it's important to create that structure where you don't look at it as good foods versus bad foods because the end goal is to give you a better relationship with food, to not stress about what you're eating, to not stress about what you have during the holidays, which we talked about last week, to not stress about what happens after the holidays. It's that the majority of the time you feel in control. The majority of the time you know what you should be eating, not good or bad. You know that you should be eating vegetables, proteins, fruits, things that are natural from the earth as opposed to like synthetically made somewhere. It doesn't mean you can't have any of those processed foods. Right. It's not an all or none. It's just where should the majority of your food come from? And then the remainder can come from things that people will consider bad, but really it's just another part of like what you should be eating. Food should be enjoyed. Eating should be enjoyed, and I do think that based on the individual, and I know you have a lot of experience with this, you kind of have to develop an understanding of self in order to develop an eating plan that works for you. We constantly talk about consistency.
Right.
Consistency is what wins. You follow a plan that helps you lose or gain weight, whatever your goal is, for a long enough period of time, you will see results. If you build a plan that does not feel right for you, so removing all of the bad foods, and you're just miserable every day, you're not going to stay on that plan, you're not going to have success.
And I think a lot of it too, I mean, there are foods, like you're saying, come from the earth and whatnot, and those are quote unquote the good foods. Get categorized in that way because they are very rich in the micronutrients, the vitamins, this and that are very, very beneficial for your body. At the same time, there is no food that will inherently make you fat or unhealthy. It comes down to a quantity aspect.
Right.
And I think, and I'm not prepared on this, but I do know there was a study, I believe out of Kansas State, where the professor ate only Twinkies.
Mark Hopp.
Correct.
Mark Hopp did the Twinkie diet, where all he did was eat Twinkies, and I think he might have had a salad at dinner. So
like
get some nutrition in there, but it was all Twinkies. He lost 27 pounds.
Yeah, and he set his limit of what he was supposed to be having from a calorie perspective.
Right.
And I believe all his biomarkers all improved. Cholesterol went down. I don't want to botch it. I don't want to go too far into it because I'm not prepared on that, but I read it a long time ago. But it kind of showed, though, that you would think having one Twinkie is a bad food. However, he did it where it was his predominant.
He was eating like 1,000 calories in Twinkies every day.
Yeah.
So he was eating a lot of Twinkies every single day. That's all he was eating. So it's the equivalent of like, and I would never even put someone on a diet that low, but if you're only eating 1,000 calories a day,
Correct.
you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But that's all he ate. And it wasn't to say, oh, Twinkies are the way to go. Eat Twinkies to lose weight. The point was like, you can eat a Twinkie and lose weight. You could eat anything and lose weight, because there is this concept that people struggle with that like, there's a difference between foods that are healthy and foods that can help with weight loss. Technically, any food can be a weight loss food because it becomes a mathematical equation.
Right.
The whole idea of calories in, calories out does matter, no matter how much. Does food quality matter? Yes, it is. I'm not saying food quality is important. I'm not saying it's not important to get fruits and vegetables and micronutrients. I'm just saying when it comes down to weight loss, it is an equation that if you eat less than you are taking in on a daily basis, you're going to lose weight. And there's the research all over to prove it. I mean, this is such a well-established theory. Plus, you have guys like, Professor Hobb, Dr. Hobb, going ahead and eating Twinkies, losing almost 30 pounds.
Right.
And the takeaway from there it should be liberating.
Yeah.
Because so many people stress about food. We see it every single day, that it takes a while to get to that part where you're in control. It takes a while where you don't beat yourself up, you don't worry about it. But if you can start with that mentality that certain foods are not on or off limits, and that you have to find the type of diet that feels right for you, once you can master that in your head, then you can go ahead practicing the different habits. Making things easier to eat protein, to eat vegetables, to be in control of the desserts that you eat. And when you do that, eating's fun. Eating's easier. People don't struggle with it so much, and that's the end goal for everyone.
Right. Well, that wraps up episode 2.
Totally did it in
Healthy,
15
right?
minutes. Had to be close. We'll get it shorter one of these days, but I'd like to talk less.
Or we'll make it longer.
Or we can make it longer. Why
I don't
not?
know. The only thing it kind of hurts is pushing in my lunch break, and I need to go eat all my starches right now. So, with that being said,
This is the last episode of 2016.
I'll probably see you next year.
Yeah, I hope I see you next year.
So too.
All right.
Should be good. All right, guys. Happy New Year's, and we will talk to you next week.
See you in 2017.
I'm gonna go manually turn off the camera
We
now.
have
So we
no
don't have a
producers.
team.
I'm just gonna sit here. Where'd our cameraman go?
You look so good on here.